Hello YouTube, this is Keltar 3007. Just bringing up another vlog. I believe this will be Vlog05 or is it 06? Well, I've made some improvements since the last time, and the project is pretty much coming along. Yay! First triumph I had, I finally got my scale form HUD to work, which I'm very excited about. It's looking good so far. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to get my crosshairs to work with my scale form HUD, even if when I extend from UT HUD, or when I use UT HUD just as a test, I can see my crosshairs, which I'll get to in a minute. It's kind of frustrating right now, but I'm still working on that. I hope to get it working at least by the end of the week. What else? Okay, I've gotten my scale form HUD to work. It might need a little bit more. I might need to add a little bit more to it to make it look prettier, but I'm liking the way it's looking right now. I also worked on a little bit of a crosshair palette, crosshair texture, and it's looking sweet so far. I tried to kind of make it stray my crosshair, the look of my crosshair, away from Unreal Tournament, and I don't mean just the shapes. I mean the actual look of it. I try to make the lines and the dots of the crosshair a little bit thinner and stronger, as opposed to Unreal Tournament where the crosshairs are a little bit wide for crosshairs, and how do I put it? Not as strong. I guess it took down the opacity on their texture, so it's a little bit see-through. Mine is like, for the most part, pretty strong. And I used Gears of War as a reference. I hope I don't get sued. I think I actually used one of their crosshairs. I think it was the original Gears of War for one of my weapons, and I might change it. Most likely I'm going to change it. I don't really like using a direct asset from another game on my project. I don't want to do that, even though I do use a lot of reference stuff and draw inspiration from a lot of other projects, a lot of games. I don't want to get one of their assets directly, even though I don't think it's going to matter that much, because it's just like it's a crosshair. It's not something iconic. So I worked on that, and it's looking pretty sweet when it shows. So I've also been working on some weapons. I've actually tried to how do I put it, update my weapon codes, because previously when I was testing my weapons, I kind of like just extended my base weapon class of I think was the shock rifle base, one of the Unreal Tournament weapons, and obviously I use my own assets for the mesh, the and the sounds, and the particle systems. But for right now, I kind of updated my weapon codes, and with the what's it called, the inventory groups and other weapon properties like the range. I haven't gotten to the range yet. I intend to do that within the next week, but and I kind of made it a little cleaner. So the weapons are looking sweet. I ported some weapons from my old project Sprite. For the most part, I'm going to give them new meshes. Like I said, I'm revamping the entire project from Project Sprite to Sanctity Lost. So I've been I model some of them. The main weapon I want to talk about though is the crossbow. I had a little, if you go back a couple, way back, some videos back, I did a video with a crossbow with zoom functionality, I'm bringing it over to Sanctity Lost, and I'm not going to remodel it. I think it looks fine just the way it is, even though it looks a little bit simple. It looks okay. I drew a lot of inspiration from the Half-Life crossbow for this weapon. It looks almost exactly like it, even though I kind of put my own spin to it. It may look different. It has a glowing spike. Should I call that? It's the arrow and glowing spike, and when you shoot it at an enemy, when the enemy dies, it sticks to a wall. Even though I think I tried to when I was using Project Sprite, I used it as an instant hit weapon and increase the instant hit momentum. So the arrow always spikes the enemy to the wall. But it's a projectile. But I was using like instant hit and projectile in the same weapon fire mode. I don't know if that makes sense. Which worked for that. For when I ported it over to Sanctity Lost, I changed that. I made it straight up projectile, and I was having problems with spiking my enemies to the wall with my crossbow. So I increased the projectiles, the momentum transfer in the projectile class, which is not working as good. It's just like acting like an explosive weapon. So when the arrow hits the pawn, it doesn't push him back. It kind of almost like looks like there's an explosion and he flies out of the map because I took it up so high. So I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make it an instant hit weapon and a projectile weapon in the same fire mode, and increase the instant hit momentum, and then put the instant hit damage to 0. So that should do it, even though it should be acting like an instant hit weapon, but it's going to be firing projectiles, and that should pin the enemies to walls. I hope that made any sense. So you guys, I feel like I just sped through that. But yeah, the crossbow looks good so far. For some reason, it's not the zoom function is not working like it's supposed to. So I'm still working on that. But I was glad I was able to get that in there. Another weapon I was able to get in from Sprite. Let me think. The blast cannon, barrel rifle, the rifle. Jesus. Excuse me for a second. I'm thinking here. Oh yeah, it's the cruncher. The cruncher is not going to be a player weapon. It's actually for the final character. The idea behind this weapon is it fires a projectile that kind of like almost like a seeker rocket. So it follows the player a little bit and then hits. And I think I did have it in one of my Sprite videos. It's going to be the boss. Like I said, it's going to be a boss weapon for the final guy you fight, the alien dude. He's going to have this weapon, and I'm planning to like make it a very badass weapon. It's looking badass already. I am, however, changing the projectile of this weapon, even if it's going to act the same, but I'm changing the actual projectile mesh and the particle system for the projectile itself, so it should look sweet. Also, I just started modeling a new weapon. Actually, I had the weapon before. It was one of those I ported from Project Sprite. It's the blast cannon. You guys must have seen it around. I originally had it like an energy weapon. Actually, the first blast cannon I had, now I remember, kind of looked like something you see of Donkey Kong Country. That's how I textured it, like a rifle with a huge round barrel at the top, and it looked like I tried to make it look like metal, but I textured it so badly it looked like wood, like a huge wooden round barrel, and it looked kind of fake. So I changed it and made it look more like a rifle, kind of like a cross between an energy rifle and a regular projectile rifle, but it still looked a little bit toyish because at the time my weapon modeling and texture skills and left it wasn't as good, and so I did try to I redid it, and I made it look more like a shotgun, and I'll tell you why in a second. It looks much better now. I hope, once again, this is something I hope I don't get sued for. I've been using a lot of iPhone gun apps, and if you look up gun building and weapons, they have some good, almost quasi cartoonish looking weapons. They look like some that will fit into like an alien movie, but they are actual weapons. So you have like shotguns, rifles, and stuff. And there's actually a weapon that has a chainsaw on it, almost like the Lancer from Gears of War, but it looks sci-fi-ish and cartoony. So they have some pretty interesting looking weapons that are unique. So I kind of like use those as some references for some of my weapons. My blast cannon, I'm using their shotgun for the blast cannon, and so far so good. It looks awesome. I'm just texturing it right now. Yeah, the blast cannon. Originally, the blast cannon was supposed to shoot a projectile. The first blast cannon, the wooden, huge barrel one, was shooting a projectile like the rocket launcher from Unreal Tournament, exactly like the rocket launcher for Unreal Tournament, which was okay, but kind of sucked. So I had a good friend of mine, Josh Carlton, actually, acquaintance. I met him online. I asked him to design a particle system for me, which he did, and it was just so awesome. It looks like a hot car, and a car trailing with bits of pieces falling out of it from the back as it moves along, which looked sweet. I used that for the energy rifle version of the blast cannon, which kind of looks good, but it just didn't seem right. It didn't seem like a weapon that was so thin could fire something that massive. So I'm getting rid of that. I'm not totally getting rid of the particle system, but I changed the particle system again, and now what I pretty much did was I looked at the flak cannon from Unreal Tournament 3, which has a little bit of a shotgunny feel to it, even though it's obviously not exactly a shotgun. It fires like it does act like a shotgun. So seeing as I'm using a shotgun for this model, I used the flak cannon's projectile properties. Obviously, once again, I used my own assets totally, but I just copied, took a look at the particle system the flash cannon used, their textures right down to the mesh material and textures. I made my own version, and I'm using that for my weapon. I haven't tested it. I mean, like I said, I don't have my weapon in the UDK yet, but I used the old version of the blast cannon to test it out, and it's looking sweet so far. I just need to make some changes to make it look more convincing. The projectile particle system, I mean. So I also used the flak cannon's code. I did download a copy of Unreal Tournament 3. I have the editor, and I exported the script. So I'm using the script. I use the blast cannon's code to for my weapon, so it acts just like the blast cannon, but like I said, not exactly. It like has a spread when you shoot, and the the other fire mode is like a straight up projectile that bounces around. So yeah, it's pretty much a hack of the flak cannon. Still working on that, trying to make it a little bit more unique as I go on. So that's pretty much been it with weapons. I plan to create another weapon called the Sierra, which I had in Project Sprite. Actually, the Sierra's projectile particle system is what I'm planning to use for the Cruncher, the boss weapon right now. Good. Sierra is a nice weapon, but the particle system, shot, the projectile is shot, goes well with the type of weapon it is. But I think it will look better for the cruncher, and I'm going to use the old flat cannon projectile, not the rocket one, the one, the core with trails coming out. I'm going to use that for the new Sierra, which I haven't designed yet. I'm not going to make it a rifle. I'm going to make it something else. The old Sierra I had was actually like my character had to use a different animation for it because it was like it looked different. It was a weapon that the character held like that, and his left arm was up front right here. The his right arm was back here, and he like held the weapon around. It looked pretty cool. So I'm gonna kind of try to copy that, but I'm gonna make the weapon itself look different. Should look sweet. Oh my god, 15 minutes up, and this video is not gonna get cut off. But just saying, that was I've had a lot of fun working on the weapons. I plan on I'm designing the main character right now. I plan on starting modeling on that maybe later on this week. So I'll let you guys go right now, and I will have another vlog hopefully next week. Peace.